Well, hello everybody. Once again, you join us as we go live for another week of Tuesday channel audits. If you are brand new to this experience, then over the next couple of hours, some of you are going to be getting a little vulnerable, a little struggling with your channeling, like you just don't know what to do next, and you think, oh, what is the next turn here? How can I help take my channel to the next level? And that's where we come in as your human coaches. We are going to give you advice, strategy, motivation, and inspiration that will hopefully take your channel to the next level, wherever you are, just starting out on your YouTube journey or a seasoned veteran. I am your host for the next couple of hours. I go by the name of Rob Wilson with these crazy glasses that I have, in fact, been able to fix over the last week. Whew, that was a relief. Joining me, as always, in the co-hosting, coasting spot today is my gaming expert extraordinaire and Chief Director, CEO of Channel Auditing here at Dan Enterprises. It's Dan himself. Hey, Dan. You've taken over the entire company. What's going on?
I didn't get the memo about that. You know, everything's good. How are you?
I am awesome. Did my music stop playing? I'm going to replay it. There we go. Yeah. Let's get it playing once again. If you are new here or if you're a regular, do let us know where you're calling in from. I don't know if you actually do call in for YouTube.
You dial in.
Maybe you're on your phone, so technically you are calling in a sense, but you're using the internet to call into us. We are looking forward to your channels as always. We've got people here from Canada. Hello there to Paris. There in Canada. We've also got Ziad in Saudi Arabia. Another person from India. Mateus is there in Sweden. Somebody said good morning, so they must be in the US somewhere. All the way over in Australia. And we apologize that we always go live at a terrible time for our New Zealand, Australian, Japanese audience. But it's just the way it is, trying to broadcast to the globe. Somebody's always got to take the hit, and it is you, Australians. So we respect you for calling in. Another person here from South Africa. We got the Sam D, one of our members from all the way over in Colorado. Zach in the Philippines. As always, I cannot say this state without an accent. So Toy Spotlight is there over in New Jersey. How is my New Yorker accent coming along, Dan? Is it developing nicely?
You did fine.
Thank you. Dexon Root in Idaho. I don't know what the accent is over there in Idaho, but thanks for joining us. Wow, is this actually right? Nidosh in Nepal. Wow, that's fantastic. Toronto, Canada. All of you from literally, this is actually true, literally from China. I thought YouTube was blocked in China. Is it? I can't remember now.
I don't know.
There's some stuff that's blocked in China. But anyway, hello, if you're able to join us from China, that is brilliant. But yeah, Dan, literally people from all over the world, and that is fantastic to see.
Do you think they're from all over the world, or are they just saying countries? Like they're not really sure what we're doing, so people are coming in, they're new to the chat, and they're just like, oh, we're just saying our favorite country. No,
I'm not buying that. I genuinely believe that all of these people are from where they say they are. I don't know what they've got to gain. Like, is it a case of, when people say, if I change my location on YouTube, well, I get more views from a certain country. If people change location, do they have more of a chance to get audited? No. The simple answer is no. Jeff, thanks for joining us. Awesome to see you, sir. Getting up early. Always appreciated. How's life with you?
Doing okay, man. How you guys doing?
Yeah, we're doing very well, thank you. We're just saying hello to everybody who's joining us here. People all the way from Nepal, Australia, Saudi Arabia. Everybody's dialing in today for the live stream. And so why don't we tell you what's going to happen over the next couple of hours? If you're brand new, this is your 45-second explainer. If you're a regular here, just welcoming these new people with open arms as we all aim to grow our YouTube channels. Welcome to the vidIQ channel reviews live stream. Simply fill in the correct form in the video description and your channel will be considered for review during a live stream. Channel reviews are free, so no need to send us a super chat, and don't spam us in the live chat. We'll ignore it and you may be put in timeout. If you need a channel audit right now, make sure to check out the vidIQ Coach AI tool that will help you with strategies, ideas, titles, scripts. Link in the description. It's a game changer. If you submit your channel for review, expect the following. We are sharing nothing more than our knowledge, experience and passion as fellow creators. Thank you to all of our moderators who help us out on the live stream every week. You know who you are. Give us a like if you enjoy this live stream, subscribe if you love it, and share it with like-minded fellow creators. All right, let's get started. Housekeeping as always. We will have segments throughout this live stream that are thrown over to you and your glorious super chat. So if you do want to ask a question about YouTube, and I'm not going to say specifically your channel, because if you say look at my thumbnails or titles or like something that requires us to look at the channel, that's not necessarily what we do with super chats. So try to avoid that, and try to avoid asking for a channel review from super chats, because that's not how it works. But somebody is guaranteed to ask us that every single week. And finally, YouTube is a big, broad video platform of all sorts of content for all sorts of audience. But our audience here, we consider very universal, from young to old. And if the content is inappropriate in a way that we feel wouldn't be befitting of a sort of live broadcast, we'll just apologize and say that we have to move on to the next channel. Very rarely happens, but I just want to put that disclaimer out there before we start. Jeff, Dan, are you ready to jump into some channel audits?
Oh, yeah.
Then let's audit the first channel that's submitted through the forms that are now in the description. If you want to fill them out, you may be picked randomly later on in this live stream. But the first one that got in there when the live stream went public 6 hours ago was Whine&Diner. They have 50 videos. They have cracked 1,000 subscribers. And what is Whine&Diner? Serving you a delicious brand of snark and sass. Looking at the thumbnails, something to do with maybe TV and movie commentary. But we'll find out a little bit more about that as we investigate the thumbnails and the titles. And I will throw over to Jeff for his first impressions here.
First impressions, I would say, is that seems like a very cultured person, because I'm seeing some classic Spider-Man here, and with Electro there on the thumbnail. And I'm also seeing Star Trek, the animated series, in the thumbnails, which a lot of people have slept on because it's a very Scooby-Doo-ish animation from back in the day. But so the episodes were actually surprisingly good.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, so that's what I'm seeing here. One of the things I will say, though, I really like the thumbnail at the very top, the latest video, the Smurfs Soviet propaganda brainwashing. I mean, that to me looks excellent. Like just the layout of it with Smurfette right there, and then you got the text coming in, like, that looks surprisingly good. Like this is already packaging wise, it already feels like it's ahead of the curve for a channel at 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah, I would agree that the thumbnails are certainly improving, a bit too text heavy maybe on the earlier ones.
Agreed.
But how about the packaging itself from a individual point of view? Each individual video is improving, Jeff. But what about the selection of packaging? Because I'm seeing something about the Smurfs and Soviet propaganda. That is a real contrast in ideas. And then is Donkey Kong a secret mafia overlord? Again, there's real... I don't want to say curiosity. I get confused by some of the packaging. Maybe there's too much of a disconnect between one concept and the other. But yeah, like general packaging just throughout the entire channel. What do you think?
Yeah, I would agree. The thing I think is video topics, and it's starting to feel to me like some of these videos are coming in like lore, like undercover CIA stuff and the Donkey Kong secret mafia stuff kind of comes up as lore. And then with the Spider-Man and the Star Trek animated series stuff, I don't know if those are reviews because they're going episode by episode. So it could be that we're trying two different concepts on the same channel to see kind of what works and what doesn't. Okay. So it's a little interesting. It's a little interesting to see which way they're trying to go. Maybe they're still trying to find their way, and that's totally fine. They're experimenting, which is completely fine. But I agree. It does kind of because I'm just like you. I'm not 100% sure exactly what's happening.
Dan, I just want you to give like a few like surface level thoughts. Don't go into too much detail because I want to get into the videos a little bit.
I'll just pick on the Kong Father thumbnail for a minute. And this is not a criticism of all the thumbnails, but multiple thumbnails. I think they go a bit too nuanced because I think it's clever, the Kong Father, but I think it would be way more effective, kind of like Smurfette, to show Donkey Kong and then maybe put like a little mafia hat on him or something.
Agreed.
Rather than this really, really nuanced, like this is the logo for the Godfather, the same font. I'm going to use that. I'm going to do all these things and effects to it.
So what you're saying is you think these thumbnails are too clever for us plebs here to understand.
Some of them. I think the most intriguing one is the latest one because we have the character. We have an interesting bit of text in the thumbnail. But again, I'm seeing a disconnect between the text and the title because I'm seeing CLAAW, but I'm seeing Soviet propaganda. And I'm like, okay, I see there's a connection here, but it's not close enough. Like, so there's little tweaks that can be made to make this hit home even harder with me. Like, what are you trying to say? And when I get into the video, like, what am I going to get? And like, I have to think about these just for, I think, 5 seconds too long.
All right, let's mouse over one of his thumbnails and just to show you what you might encounter when you get into the videos. Can you see what's being shown on screen here?
Oh, there are puppets.
Yeah, and I think they're all like this. They are videos that are delivered from a puppet's perspective. I'm just going to click into this one and show the first like 20 seconds. I think you'll be able to all hear this.
Yeah.
Good evening, guys and ghouls. And welcome to our Halloween episode, featuring one of the classics of slasher fame, the Candyman. Hey. No.
All right, I'm going to pause it there. So, like, what would be your first impressions, like, coming to this brand new channel, clicking on it, and then being presented with this in the hook?
I would want to see the puppet be more of a star, kind of like we put a YouTuber's face on the thumbnails. I feel like if it's always going to be from this puppet's perspective, it should be up front, because I think you're showing like I assume the actor, the Candyman, like on the thumbnail and stuff. You're getting people really hyped up for like a commentary about this series. And then when they see puppets, it's immediately my thought is, oh, is this like a video of more for like children? Like what? And it's probably not. Like puppets can do all sorts of things. We know that. But it needs to be, I think, up front. This is kind of like, I don't want to say it's like a bait and switch because I don't think they're doing anything nefarious. But it is shocking. It is like, I wasn't expecting puppets. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just maybe they should be in the thumbnail. Which is a weird bit of advice.
They did experiment with this in the first 3 videos.
Yes.
Puppet in thumbnail. View counts look fairly solid. They are from a little while ago, but they were all like 500 plus. So maybe it's a good thing to go back and test on. Absolutely. Jeff, do you agree with that? That maybe the protagonist of the content should be more front and center in a packaging? Or do you think they should go more after the trend or the popular discourse that they're looking at, whether it be Star Trek, Candyman, and so on?
I would actually do both and test. And hopefully soon enough, in a couple months, they'll roll out the A/B testing for everyone. But I would get in the habit of creating both, one with the puppet, one with the character or one of the recognizable characters from whatever show it is or movie that you're looking at. And that way you can test both and see which starts working better for you. Because it can go either way. Here's the thing that we have to remember is that having the puppet in there can work for some videos and having a main character can work for others. It isn't going to always be one or the other. Same thing with my own channel. There's times where 99% of the time not showing my face works, but every once in a while I have to put my face into a thumbnail to have it actually work. So I still create both. Just in case that first version of a thumbnail doesn't work, I can throw something completely different in. So I would get in the habit of doing both. And that kind of practice will actually, one, it's going to make you a better thumbnail designer for sure. And you always have another thumbnail in your back pocket in case the click-through rate is low on the one you throw up there. You can immediately switch it.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Dan. No, go ahead, please.
I wanted to point us to another channel real quick, just for anyone who does commentary in general. Do you want to pull up a channel real quick, or do you want to wait? I know you're going to make another point.
Sure. No, go ahead.
Okay, go to Gabby Bell, Gabbi, Bell with an E at the end. Yeah. Okay, so this is one of many commentary channels, and you'll notice a trend with thumbnails like this. Creator front and center, and then references to whatever film or TV show they're talking about kind of like behind them. And this is kind of my thinking. This is what I was imagining the creator was going to do when we got into the video. I thought it was going to be them as a human person doing like a presentation. Now I'm wondering if the puppet, if you try a new thumbnail, the puppet's front and center, but if you're referencing a movie or a TV show, you have them kind of behind you. And this is not the only YouTuber on the platform who does commentary about movies and TV shows they enjoy in this style of thumbnail with like a little bit of yellow text, and they rely on like recognizable faces behind them. So I see this used a lot. I find these thumbnails and types of videos to be very authentic, and I think it resonates with people. So this is, if you are going to start trying a new thumbnail style, this is just something I want you to think about, like other channels doing commentary about things that you do commentary about.
Authenticity, is that going to be the buzzword of YouTube in 2024?
I think so.
Last things to point out: very high production values, right? The fact that they have an artistry and a skill being puppeteers. It's a very much a unique selling point of the channel. I just think that with the thumbnails, how they're packaged, and the idea that the show is presented by puppets, I think there's a lot of reaching that the viewer has to do. Like they have to. I can't think of a better word than suspend disbelief through the packaging and then through the content to then really engage with the content. And I believe once they do, then they've got hardcore fans. But for that new viewer, it might just be a little bit, this is a bit weird, and click off. And how do they soften that introduction of these different concepts? But that is Whine&Diner, the first channel that submitted this week from the non-gaming form. And now we go to the first channel that submitted on the gaming forms, and they go by Terry's Games. Now, disclaimer to Jeff and Dan. This is a German channel, I believe. So we're going to have somewhat of a language barrier. But having said that, we can clearly see that this is a game about farm simulator or tractor simulator, one of those types of games, and the latest version. And the numbers seem fairly healthy on most of these videos, ranging from the hundreds to occasionally thousands. So Dan, even with the language barrier, like, what can you tell us about this channel?
So yeah, it does look like Farm Simulator 22, which is, you know, that's I think the latest PC version of the game, which is good. PC being the console that they're playing on. I think Farming Simulator comes out on like consoles like the Switch with odd numbers, and PC releases with, or even, I don't know, it's really strange, but I think they're playing the latest one. That's good if you are. If you're not, maybe start working on that. But I think my favorite is the top two videos in the middle, like with the split screen thumbnail. Because even with the language barrier, I can tell what they're trying to say. After a certain amount of time has passed, change has been made.
Transformation.
Yes. And obviously, like the video that came out 2 months ago did very, very well. I have a feeling the one from 9 days ago could catch up to it, as long as the topic is also just as interesting. And so this tells me that this channel is experimenting with challenge style content. And this is going to be like, you guys know, if you follow vidIQ, if you followed us for a bit, you know, every year we kind of update our gaming advice.
What
video.
der Woche ist dies?
Apologies.
And one of the things I want to do for this year's video is point out that playing games like anyone would when they pull them off the shelf and bring them home, that's like a way a lot of YouTubers do it. They want to do a Let's Play, and so they just play the game like anyone else would. They play through the story or whatever it might be. Playing games in a way that I wouldn't think to play them is a lot more interesting to watch. And so when someone does a 24-hour challenge where they're trying to achieve something that shouldn't take 24 hours and they're trying to challenge themselves, that's interesting. Now you're telling a bit more of a story, and you are playing a game that I enjoy, but in a new, exciting way. And hey, I might even pick up some tips along the way. Maybe I'll learn how to make money a little more efficiently, and I may not want to do it in 24 hours, but maybe I can play through the story a bit faster after watching your video. So there's value there, there's entertainment there, and that's what I want to encourage all gaming channels to do if you are going to sit down and play a game. This channel seems to be doing that. Again, I can't read the titles. I'm not exactly sure.
All right, I'm going to ask all of you in advance to get us having a conversation about this, as we do every single week. What video games have you been playing as part of your gaming life? But then I'm going to throw the channel over to Jeff just for any observations you may have seen beyond Dan. I appreciate you may not have any, given the language barrier.
Yeah, that's kind of the things that sort of throw me off. I mean, first things first, at the top two, they were using red text, which is just not my cup of tea. It makes it harder to read. I think it says Neiman's Land, something like that.
Yep.
I would just simplify that, to be completely honest. Just make it easier to read. Like, one thing that I want to make sure is clear, both titles and thumbnails, is you want legibility, but also you want them to fall under this, like, explain it to me like I'm 5 kind of thing, so that you can immediately understand it. That's not insulting your audience. It's just making it possible to digest whatever information is there in under a second, so that you can get them into the click. So,
I think it matches going back to this channel. Like, explain it to me as if I was 5.
Yeah,
I almost feel as if I need to be like know all the lore, know all of the cultural references, and be of a certain age to decode these. So yeah, I love how you've presented that idea, Jeff.
Yeah. Sometimes we tend to get a little too clever, and which is cool. Like, if you're just trying to impress another thumbnail designer, then yeah, that's great. But if we're talking about general audiences, then we really got to think of it that way. And like I said, it's not to insult viewers to say that they're dumb or juvenile. It's not that at all. It's just about facilitating the flow of see thumbnail, digest thumbnail, read title, digest title, click, that gives your video a chance for the hook to grab someone. You got to get them past that stuff. So the faster we can do that and the more efficiently we can do that, the better.
All right, that's our first gaming channel that we've audited today. And I'm just going through all of the games that people are playing. Golf Clash, I didn't even realize that was a game. It sounds very exciting. Dan, what are you up to at the moment?
I think I'm still, I think just mostly Paper Mario. I mentioned it last week. Been just kind of on like a retro-ish kick, and trying to go back to games that I remember playing, but I don't remember beating. And who knows if I'll even beat it. It's just not good at sticking to things.
There's a lot of games here that I've never heard of, like Shadow Fight 2. And then
I wonder if they're making
I don't know if this is a game or not, but I'd love it to be. Just imagine it was ketchup on eggs. It sounds like such a cool
game.
Should be a cool game if it exists.
I'm going on Steam looking it up.
Jeff, what are you currently playing?
Nothing at the moment because I've been too busy, which really sucks because I bought and downloaded the new Assassin's Creed Mirage.
Yeah.
But because I've been a follower of that game series since the very beginning, played all of them, and but I've just been so busy with content and work that I just haven't had time to actually play the game. So that's the downside of it. It's like I got the game and I haven't yet even turned it on to play it. So I'm hoping to get there. The last game that I did play with friends was Party Animals. So that was the last thing I played. But that's just multiplayer. We just play it with each other. We don't play with randos. It's just a group of friends that play. But it was like a week and a half ago.
I'm talking with some friends about playing that soon.
Yeah, it's fun. As long as you guys are okay with, like, make sure you have strong relationships because people do get mad. So it can ruin friendships. Much like playing Sorry, the board game, how that ruins friendships. You have to be,
Yeah. Well, if someone wants to keep clicking on games that people are playing, I was playing Ratchet and Clank last week, Rift Apart, the new PS5 one. And I would describe it as more of just a fun video gaming experience as opposed to a challenge. It's very easy to play, very forgiving. When you die, it just puts you back in the same place and like very near checkpoints. So I completed that very quickly, but I really enjoyed it. I would give it a 7 out of 10. And now I'm trying to figure out what to play next because I'm on the PSN network. You get these free games every couple of months every month. And Weird West is a game I've just tried for half an hour this morning. I'm not sure if I'm going to get into it. And I've also checked out a game called Warcraft Rumble. Has anybody heard this yet?
No.
So this is Blizzard's entry into the Clash Royale mobile gaming scene. And it's very similar to Clash Royale, which I've played a lot of in my time. What's really interesting is I played it and I thought, okay, I'm not sure if I really want to invest in this. I want to see a review. So I went onto YouTube and there are no reviews for this whatsoever, which I found really strange. And then when I did a search, it was like, oh, so all of it, at the moment, all it is relatively small channels who are doing all of the tutorials on the game right now as it's just come out. And given that it's Blizzard and it's World of Warcraft, you imagine that this is probably going to build up into quite a big franchise over the next couple of years. So if you're a gaming channel and you are into mobile gaming and you like this type of stuff like Clash of Clans, Clash Royale, this could be a new YouTube channel opportunity. Like I'm paying particular attention to this channel called Echo Warcraft Rumble. I don't think this is his first channel, but he started it on October the 10th. And like, just look at all of the views already, like 11,000, 4,000, 7,000. And he's publishing videos every single day. This is like the perfect gaming channel template. I don't know, Dan, maybe we do a case study on this channel in a month or so. Like you spot a big new release of a game and you become the authority on it. But interesting stuff. As I say, I don't know if I'm going to get fully into it. But yeah, Blizzard games tend to be quite satisfying.
You've identified a potential content gap. And I know that this person is filling a content gap, but that does not mean it's been filled, right? Like,
correct.
If other people play this game, and when you play a more complex game like this is like the perfect type of game to look for in terms of like, what can I offer the community? Like, I was struggling with this, but I figured it out through a lot of Googling and stuff. Maybe I can just do a YouTube video and make this a very annoying common problem easy. And that's why channels suddenly blow up all of a sudden, like in the gaming space, because they bring a lot of value and they're fun to watch and so on and so forth.
Here's another one, Spraggles B tier. Are they a new channel? No, they've been around for a while, but it looks like they have pivoted. Oh, those are some busy thumbnails, but they've pivoted. And look at that again. This is interesting. So we're doing like Let's Play with a few hundred views, more Let's Play with a few hundred views, and then completely different thumbnails and not Let's Plays or not on the surface. And now we're getting tens of thousands of views. This channel's taking off as well. So yeah, I don't know, Dan, maybe we need to look at this as a case study, as a topic in general.
That's a really good template and a really good example of channels we see here all the time. Like I've been trying to do this Let's Play and they put, day numbers and they just play a game with the same exact thumbnail. This channel finally woke up one day and said, what if I didn't do that? And here they are.
I'm sure you all want us to get back to channel auditing, but it was just something I noticed in the gaming corner this week. Next channel we're going to look at is Jan and Tracey Travels. They have cracked 1,000 subscribers. Congratulations to you. Looks like their channel is monetized. Dan, can you lead us off with this one, please?
Yes. So I love a good travel channel, and I found myself watching these more and more. So I kind of got excited when I saw this one because I'm like, I feel like I can offer you a bit of advice, things I'm noticing about other channels, because it's always a lot easier for us as channel reviewers if we're familiar with the content in some way. So I'm not going to say I'm an expert on travel channels or anything like that, but what I will say is that one of the things that was kind of an immediate turnoff when I saw the titles and thumbnails, I realized I don't necessarily care as much. This is going to be different between viewers, but for me, I don't care as much about the destination. I kind of care about the journey. And when I say that, I'm referring specifically to, like, you're going on these cruises. I would want to see a test from this channel where maybe they talked about the cruise itself and gave an opinion in the title. Like, so for example, this 3-day cruise was a nightmare or something to that effect, or this 3-day cruise blew my mind. Like, so you're kind of talking about, like, I'm already getting a sense of how long you were doing the thing. And then when I get into the video, you could talk about, so I'm on a cruise right now and we're going to such and such place. And we're going to be here for 3 days and I'm going to document the whole thing. That would be really, really interesting. But like some of these places, like you're kind of making the place the star of the titles and thumbnails. And again, that could work in certain cases for certain types of viewers, but it kind of depends on what the focus of the content is. If the focus is, see, they're on cruise ships. So to me, it speaks to the journey. It's not really about where you're going. It's about the experience you had on the way there. So focus on that was kind of my biggest piece of advice for this channel as a test. Again, I'm still getting familiar with this space on YouTube, but I don't think it would hurt in your next video to give that a try.
I know this is slightly anecdotal, but sorting by most popular, the top 6 videos are all about the experience on a cruise ship as opposed to the excursions. But there are some where it is the travel destination that's important. I would love at this point to just grab Griff, one of our coaches, and just like bring him on and like have some quick input here. But Jeff, you're going to have to channel Griff's innermost cruising thoughts and share them here.
No, I mean, I'm in agreement where we kind of have to humanize some of these titles, like to create some sort of intrigue, curiosity, or even fear to drive a click. And this is going to take a bit of forethought for these creators, because what I'm getting here when I see titles like Regent Splendor review, Overnight in San Francisco, Regent Splendor review, ship tour, stuff like that, is where we're just shooting video and then wrapping a package around it afterwards. And what I want them to get in the habit of is thinking of what angle, what frame do they want to take on this next video that's going to make a human want to actually click on it. And that way we can really kind of improve sort of what it is. Like where you have the Regent Splendor review or the ship tour, it could have been, if they would have thought of it ahead of time, it could have been something like, my 5 favorite things about the Regent Splendor ship. And, something along those lines. And then out of all the things, instead of just giving us a whole general tour, you can kind of point out, hey, these are the 5 coolest things on this ship, or my 5 favorite things about it, or whatever. But now you have a frame, and it turns the video kind of into a listicle, but you have a frame that you can sort of work with that's going to be something more intriguing than just ship tour or just review.
Do you think that this was going in the right direction, Jeff? And I'm not saying that just because it has 3,500 views. It's, it teases that there's some disappointment here. Like, it's a review of a ship, but it wasn't enough. But you think they should lean into that even more if they're going to cover the cruise itself.
Yeah, because I like the fact that they put in an opinion into the thumbnail, but they can lean heavily into that in the title as well. So there's no reason that they can't say that also in the title in a different way. So, and that's aside the fact that yellow over white just doesn't work. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So that's
something. Definitely on that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Given that I went on a cruise recently, when I was trying to find out information about the ship I was going on, what I found sometimes quite frustrating is on the cruise tours, they go around everything. And usually you just want to know certain things at certain times when you're trying to find out about something. Like, I just want to see a cabin review. And then I wanted to see what all of the different restaurants were. And then I wanted to see what all of the entertainment was on the ship. But I didn't want to see it in one video because that would be 40 minutes long. I'd have to be skipping around.
Right.
So given the fact that I think they did, 2 videos here on the actual ship itself, I feel as if there's more potential for more content. Like more of these 10 to 15-minute videos that just cover all aspects of the ship. And so maybe they're not capturing enough footage, or they almost need a template of title ideas. Like, we're going to get on a ship and we know we need to record footage for this. And as you say, Jeff, turn it into the 5 best things about this cruise, the 5 worst things about this cruise. You know to remember to capture all that footage.
Well, that's what I mean. It's gonna take a bit of forethought on their part before they get on the ship to think of, here are the video titles that we want to shoot for, because that's going to determine what kind of shots and B-roll they need to make sure that they capture, as opposed to just getting on the ship and winging it and then hoping on the other side to have a workable video. How about you come up with the workable videos before you get on the ship? And then you can shoot all the stuff that you need to do because you're going into it with a game plan, right? And this applies to anything, not even just travel videos and cruise ship videos. This applies to every aspect of YouTube, going into it with a game plan. We've talked about this so many times, and even Dan's talked about it for gaming channels, going that little one step further that's going to make your video stand out above, the other 99 people that are just doing the basic.
Couple of thumbnail thoughts. They're including 4K logos in the thumbnail. Do you think that's necessary for a travel?
Any phone can shoot
channel?
4K. Like, if you were doing a walking tour and you weren't commentating, that might be more of like, let's say there's a 40-minute video of a silent walking tour of a cruise ship. Then 4K kind of becomes more like interesting to me because people want to watch it on like a big TV and really like take it in. But you don't need it in every thumbnail, especially if these are commentary videos where like personalities are ruling the channel. Any phone can shoot 4K now. Like, it's just it's not a feat anymore. It's not like a big impressive thing.
And the reason I'm circling the heroes of the channel, they do feel as if they're a bit in selfie mode, whereby we'll just get a picture of ourselves looking at the camera and stick it somewhere on the thumbnail. And it feels as if it doesn't add anything. If, for example, in this one, not enough. I know you're going to be dramatizing it a bit, but like a an annoyed face, a frustrated face, a disappointment face, like a holding up a big receipt bill or something like that, just to add a little bit more to the thumbnails. But there is the travel that calls themselves Jan and Tracey Travels. And what we'll do now is move on to our next channel, Dan, and I picked this one. It is football training. Now, I appreciate, Dan, you're not a sports guy. You're probably definitely not a soccer guy.
Probably not. I like Welcome to Wrexham.
There you go. It's now that is kind of like a big total addressable market for an audience in terms of football, if you can get into that, which is cool. Now, this channel, Dan, is really interesting in that it basically shows you relatively quick videos, typically under 2 minutes, of really detailed football tactics. I'm just going to play one of these for about 30 seconds, right? And it looks like and sounds like this.
Welcome to 11v11 play. We have set up a phase 4 exercise, advancing from scoring 3v4 to 3v5. In this final progression, we overload our strikers by 2 late defenders, number 2, number 5, who join the situation as fullbacks. The coach can fine-tune the starting position for them to find a proper resistance.
I will pause it there. Even as somebody who is a fan of soccer, I find this completely impenetrable because it's really deep, hardcore football tactics showed on a piece of software I've never seen before with text just all over the place and stuff that I need to track and follow. This feels like it should be on behind a paywall of like Udemy or Skillshare or something like that, which is dedicated solely to football coaches.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my opinion from somebody who's a fan of football.
Yeah.
It feels very inaccessible. You know, like Dan, when we were talking about Welcome to Wrexham, this is the anti-Welcome to Wrexham football channel in one sense.
Right. If you haven't seen Welcome to Wrexham, the reason it's so popular is because it's Rob McElhenney, Ryan Reynolds. They bought a football team, and so it's like 2 very famous actors, and so that's already like bringing a new audience to it. And even if you don't care about the sport, you're interested in the stories and everything going on behind the scenes. This is the opposite. I feel like you said, Rob, this should be like in a classroom setting. I can see like a coach pulling this up for their team and trying to explain, here's like what I want us to try next. And if you want to make that kind of content, that's like cool. But coming to us and saying, how do I like grow a YouTube channel, tells me that they would like this to spread to more people. And it's so hard to say this, Rob, but it's difficult to tell people that what you're doing isn't working. But almost on like no level is this working. Maybe it could if you were willing to ditch all of the very, very technical terms in the video and focus more on like, hey, have you ever seen this play in a game, and then show the play and go, well, what that looks like from this perspective is this, and what they're actually doing is this. So if you maybe treat the audience as if they've never seen any of this before, that could be an angle. But even this, like you said, it feels impenetrable. It feels like it's made for a very, very specific market.
Yeah, I feel as if it does work, Dan, for the 931 people who have subscribed.
Yes.
But I can't imagine that ever breaking beyond 10,000, 100,000 subscribers. And so to give all of this stuff away for free, democratizing football tactics is very honorable and noble, but I don't know how you're going to be able to sustain that in the long run. And then we have some really odd concepts. Like, I think this is under 10s versus under 13s build-up exercises. So again, that would be really useful for football coaches teaching children's football teams, but I don't know how many of them are going to YouTube for this information. So I was thinking, how do you make this more accessible? And my thought would be, is you take the greatest goals, the most popular goals, the most controversial events in soccer, and turn them into this tactics board and take the viewer through that experience from a tactical point of view. And it might be interesting to a wider audience, myself included. Like, for example, Diego Maradona's incredible goal against England in 1986. Can you look at that from a tactical point of view, and why and how was he able to score that? But for me, under 10s versus under 13s, build-up play, 8 players versus 8, when usually football is 11v11 or 5v5. I don't know how accessible this is going to be to a broader audience. Welcome back, Jeff. We're talking about soccer and a tactics channel.
Awesome.
Good for you.
Good. Yeah. I don't know where I was going.
No, but I'm in agreement with you guys, because there's a thing about, and this takes a little bit of time to develop, and also leads back to the same conversation I had around those titles about kind of simplifying the content, where you start when you're too deep and too technical, it's going to work for a very specific group of people. But if you can dial that back just a hair and make it more accessible, especially to people who are just getting started on this particular game, whatever particular game that happens to be, you make that so much more accessible, and you also broaden out your audience, because now you can make it more welcoming to somebody who's brand new to the game, because that's going to be the audience. It's going to constantly refresh itself. People who just picked up the game. So that would be my thought around it, is make it a little less technical, just pull it back just a little bit and make it more accessible.
So just to be clear, Jeff, I don't think this is a video game. I think this is a training tactics software for actually, think like it's the soccer version of an NFL board, that one of the coaches looks at on the sideline.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Even if that's the case, the rule still applies.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. It still applies, because it's one of the things where just making it more accessible to whoever the audience is going to help you broaden out the audience. And maybe that's not what they want to aim for, and that's fine. They can continue making content like this, but I would, in addition to this content, make something more accessible to bring in new viewers. If I'm assuming that growth is the goal, otherwise it wouldn't have submitted their channel here. So right now what they're doing is they're kind of closing off their audience to only people who really understand this stuff. And that's what I mean. I'm trying to help them bring in more people by creating content that's going to be a little bit more, one, discoverable, and two, more accessible to somebody who's brand new to this.
I do want to end on some positivity. I have never come across a channel like this before, and given the slew of football compilation channels that we see on a regular basis, which is repurposed content, reused content, this is something completely new and different. And yeah, trying to find the right approachability of the content for a wider total addressable market. Sorry, I'm using some business terms here. I've just learned them, so I like to use them. That's what we're trying to encourage. You started at a very, very impenetrable technical level for a platform that can reach billions of people. So unless you want to put all of this behind a paywall and charge football coaches specifically for it, let's make it more accessible to a wider audience. I think it's time for some super chats. What do you say, folks?
Okay.
All right, then. Let's play some music. Get us in the mood.
Sorry, I was trying to play some music, but I clicked the wrong button.
All that. All that. Yeah. You just keep making sound effects while I find the right things. Folks, this week's super chats are sponsored by vidIQ Max. Dan, you can take the music off now, please. Thank you. Has mine just been drowned out? Is it even playing? It is there in the background, isn't it? I do want to do a big shout out, I think, to Old Man Gib. He gave away more memberships. I think of the 500 members we have, Old Man Gib has paid for about 450 of them. So, yeah, again, thank you. It's already gone, but I'm sure he gave away 5 memberships earlier on. We have some messages here then. The first one comes from the Sam D. Thank you so much for the review last week. I'm trying to remember what their channel was. And I'm drawing a blank. I do apologize. Usually I remember the channels that we audited. But this one, I can't remember. But it was at an earlier time last week as well. So glad you could join us there. Every week, whoever becomes a member gets a sound effect. And Jeff is here to deliver one for WF Motivation.
Bruh.
He gets the very simple bruh. The next super chats. Oh, well, hang on. Well, stop everything, Jeff. You've been busy. Now, is that a shirt which is because I'm trying to find shirts which have this style of printing, and all the ones I get in Amazon have it's heat transfer, and they're not very good. What is the type of printing that you've got on that shirt?
I think it's called DTG, and that's the same. It's the same ones that we use for a lot of our other merchandise.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think it's the same as you're talking about, though, Rob. It's the direct to garment is like, it's like plasticky kind of feel.
Yeah, I'm trying to
But
avoid
it lasts
that.
longer. It holds up really well. That's the difference.
Yeah, these ones hold up really well.
Anyway, there was a super chat in there somewhere. Goat, Daddy, and the fam. Good morning, guys. Where do you recommend placing keywords, hashtags, and how many should you place? Also, do they even matter? Should we answer the first question, the last question first?
Yeah. They don't matter.
We should start there.
Yeah.
Just don't worry about that.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's not anything to worry about.
I've got some effects as well.
It isn't anything that's going to affect anything. The only time, for the most part, the only time I'm even using them is that when I work with a channel partner or a sponsor that they're tracking those links for whatever ad campaign they're running, then I'll include them. But aside from that, it's not really worth worrying about. Don't put them in your titles. You guys hear me in the chat? Don't put them in your titles. And if you're going to use them, use 3 of them, put them in your video description and call it a day. But don't spend more than 10 seconds on hashtags.
I was going to add something, but we've already got 20 super chats, so we just need to move through these quickly. So, oh man, Gabe, yes, thank you. Awesome. 5 super chats given away.
That was 5 months of membership.
Oh, whoops. I'm sure it's sorry, old man Gib. Am I misquoting you? Maybe you didn't give anyway. You've given away a lot of super chats in the past. I know. Next super chat. My Silver Journey. You reviewed my channel. It was bad. I took your advice and made some changes, and now I have over 1,000 subscribers and growing. Thank you for your advice. You are welcome. I should mention that when you submitted your channel, you did sign in a small print a waiver for 5% of all future earnings. So just let us know every single month how much you're making from AdSense and do send it to us. Thank you very much. I'm joking, of course. Super Sticky from Ina Beauty. Thank you. I guess that's 10 runs from Romania. We've got another super chat here from Pastor Javier. Thank you, vidIQ. You've gained 28 subs because of your content, and I do Bible talk and quizzes, and your vids have really helped me and my family. That is awesome to hear. It is great when you send us super chats, just praising us. Like, you're doing the work for us. We highly appreciate it. All right. Design Burst. I think this is now a streak of 26 super chats. So for half a year, Design Burst has been sending us super chats at least. It took us 5 months to reach 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time. vidIQ was a huge help. Thank you. We still have a lot to learn. The streak ended last week early due to... Oh, so I was wrong. Design Burst missed the streak last week because because Dan needed 6 hours to get into his Halloween costume. Yeah.
Sorry about that. I went as an interior designer.
I went as a table with 8 legs because AI couldn't design me properly.
You got your costume designed by AI.
We got we'll give you a pass, Design Burst. We'll give you a pass because yes, we were early last week. All right, we got a super chat here from the first channel we audited. Thank you so much, fellas. I've been struggling out there and improving every day thanks to you guys and wonderful people in your Discord. Awesome to hear that. We hope you found the audit constructive. And let's see where you're in 3 months' time. Uke Vibes. Hey, I have an electric unicycle channel. Wow, for 2 years. I'm trying to grow in my niche. Any quick advice would be appreciated if you have the time. So I didn't even know electric unicycles were a thing. So I would start there.
Yeah, is that cheating?
Oh, because you reckon if it's electric, it'll have like a gimbal or a stabilizer, so that it doesn't fall over. Yeah, that's interesting.
I think it sounds impressive though, and I think that's what you lead with. Like if you want that really large total addressable market, lean on the fact that like everyone knows what a unicycle is. No one really sees people riding them around, so your channel shouldn't be for like unicycle enthusiasts, although it could be. Your channel could be for a wide audience of people, like with a very like look what I can do kind of like title thumbnail strategy.
It's one of these bad boys. I've seen these around.
Oh, okay, all right. So yeah, there's how to ride videos, and those got a lot of views. So you could do that, but I think you could also just, I don't know, I would try some stuff. That sounds fun.
Jeff, I request another sound effect for "It's Me, Sick." Hey. Nice. Played a very short amount of time of that to avoid copyright claims. Mine_craft. What do you think of the new YouTube content promotion beta? Will it hurt my channel? Oh, right. That's it. This is kind of like the vidIQ bingo. Somebody asks us this every single week as a super chat.
Yeah, if you're not selling a product, it's not worth it. And there's a lot of hype around it. There's a lot of people that have been hyping it up, saying that it's the greatest thing since, sliced bread. If you're not selling an actual physical product, some sort of a service, a digital product, something like that, it's not worth promotion, right? Yeah. Basically, you're just giving money to YouTube in hopes that it's going to do something for your content, instead of putting that energy into creating better content, doing more research, improving your thumbnail skills, and improving your title skills. So if people think of it, they're thinking that they can cheat code their way. Same thing with people that used to pay for YouTube promotion services on Fiverr, things of that nature. Your money could be better spent elsewhere. But if you are selling a product, if you're selling a physical product, digital product, something like that, then yes, create a commercial, run it as a promotion. That makes actual sense. But otherwise, you shouldn't be doing that.
I would also change your channel name. This is just total aside. Minecraft's end user license agreement, I think, doesn't love it when people name their channels Minecraft. So just to be safe, maybe consider a more original channel name. But yeah, everything Jeff said about it.
I agree. We got to take it a step further than just that.
So a random hash brown is asking if it's a good idea to review the channel if they only have 2 videos.
We certainly can review your channel if you have 2 videos, but we won't have maybe a lot to say. It helps to have a good sample size. It gives us an idea of what you're trying to do. And it's, you probably would like to have some more videos up there. Like, people have been submitting to this for months, years in some cases. And I don't know if you feel great if you got yours on there and then might be the only time we ever get to look at it. And it's we can't offer much because there's a couple videos.
McStan here saying, "Sir, I am not a sir. I can assure you of that. I'm just a humble lord. My views is not increased." I'm sorry to hear that, McStan. My guess is that the content you are making is a plateau right now, and maybe you're not improving from video to video. So this could be the thumbnails, the titles, or you just lack a channel focus. So we hope that you can maybe take the general thoughts on board with your channel. And this will be the last super chat for this segment. Danielle's "Hey vidIQ, I wanted to submit my channel, but my channel has both gaming and non-gaming. I don't know which form to submit in." So you've sent a super chat to ask us which form to put it in. So I guess it doesn't really matter. We'd probably bring up a channel and then we'd say, "Hey, this isn't a gaming channel," or "Hey, this is a non-gaming channel," and then realize, oh, you have formats from both types, and so that's a concern in itself, in that you may be lacking a channel focus or content formats. So I think that's the best way we can answer that question, as a super chat. And we will leave the super chats there for now, because we need to talk about why vidIQ Max is sponsoring today's live stream and super chats. Jeff, oh my goodness, you are part of the vidIQ Max team. And we wanted to do a special shout out for one of the members of vidIQ Max, right? Tell us who they are and why are they getting a shout out today? What's this all about?
Yeah, sure. No. So basically, we wanted to put a spotlight on one of our inspiring Max students. Yeah. And, we value each and every one of them. But, and we also want to celebrate their successes and milestones. So that's kind of what we want to do here. So we want to give a massive shout out to IceBurgz, who is an amazing content creator. He's been with us since June of this year. And they recently celebrated a 1 out of 10 on their channel, hitting 1,000 views in the first 3 hours. This is not a huge channel, but this is still doing quite well. And if we actually go to the channel, I don't know if you pulled the channel up for me. I appreciate it.
The story continues.
Yeah, the story continues. So if you look at this video, it's the video that we're talking about. The 1 out of 10 is the Modern Warfare 3 leaked story, which is now at 28,000 views on a channel that has, if I remember correctly, less than 8,000 subscribers. So this video has broken out past their actual hardcore viewing core. But also, if you look at their subsequent videos, they're actually doing quite well. So we've got 4,500 on the next one, 7 biggest loose ends, and their video from, I believe, yesterday or the day before, Modern Warfare 3 ending and what comes next in 4 days, already at 13,000 views, probably a 1 out of 10 or a 2 out of 10 video. So they're taking advantage of the Modern Warfare 3 trend, leveraging this for views and subscribers. They've been getting excellent feedback from the Max community in our Max Discord. They're obviously applying these lessons because if you go back before to their older thumbnails, you can see how they've started to change up their strategy, making these improvements, working with feedback, and overall doing very, very well right now and taking advantage of what they're doing. Not to mention, the obvious improvements in packaging, but also the hooks, the way that they're delivering the videos is much, much improved as well. So this is one thing I want to give them a shout out, just saying excellent work. We love seeing growth within our Max members going like this. So make sure you guys check them out. If you guys, end up getting a chance, I'm not telling anybody to subscribe to them. Don't subscribe if you're not into Modern Warfare content. But if you want to take a look at a channel that's doing very well and putting a lot of the things that we teach into practice, make sure you guys check out IceBurgz. And then if anybody's interested in joining us on vidIQ Max, obviously it's vidIQ.com/Max. And I believe there's also a promo code for 30% off for a single month. I think it's Max Promo.
Oh, why not? Why don't we just chuck that in there the ticker tape below? So yes, you can get 30% off your first month of vidIQ Max if you are a new customer here at vidIQ. And to distinguish the coaching products that we have, one-on-one coaching is just you working with a individual coach, but vidIQ Max is more of a group peer-to-peer conversation where you talk to Jeff, Alexi, Travis, and you have these fantastic sessions that are available through vidIQ Max, which almost turns it into like a conference. Like if you go to VidSummit or VidCon, you'll get all of these speakers on stage, and we have now about approaching 50 of those that are available, Jeff?
We have more than 50 sessions right now. We're doing channel case studies as well, and the biggest value comes in joining our Max private Discord server, where we have some amazing people, much like IceBurgz themselves, but we have some amazing VIPs, some OG Maxers that have been with us since the very inception of this program and who are excellent at giving feedback as well. So yeah, definitely check it out. I know it's not for everyone. I know that for a fact. It's not for everyone, but if that sounds good to you, definitely consider joining.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring up this screenshot as an example of down the left-hand side. You can see all of like the different channels there are. And this is just like a typical conversation. Somebody's wanting to test out a title idea, and one of the fantastic members of the vidIQ Max group has given us suggestions, and like we're conversing, and that just happens on a daily basis on all sorts of conversations, right? Jeff, from thumbnails to titles to watching entire videos. You can see all of the different channels, and because we have hundreds of members in vidIQ Max, it's a very engaged and active group, isn't it? There's conversations almost 24/7, essentially, within Discord.
Yeah, just like any other Discord server, it has its ups and downs, but like traffic times, people are awake at different hours, but still, it's still very, very good and very, very helpful.
So do visit this page for more information. There is a link in the description, and you, of course, have that promo code. But I'm going to leave it for just a little bit longer. But that was the vidIQ Max sponsored Super Chats. And now we will return to our favorite part of a live stream, at least for you. It's this. We have had a bumper submission session this week. I predicted we'd have 400 people submitting, But we're already up to 559 in a non-gaming form and 415 in the gaming form. So I've undercooked this completely. So I need to change the numbers here to make sure that everybody is picked. So what happens here, thank you, Jeff, is we send a claw into the balls. It picks out a number, and that number is then fed into our forms like so. We will collect from here a URL, and then that URL will bring up the channel that we're auditing for the first time. Brand new impressions. What are we seeing here? I'm going to throw this over to Dan John Kyo with his Nature and Wildlife channel.
Okay, let's see. Give me a second here.
Let's have a look here. What are we looking at here? Just give us a few seconds.
Wildlife is definitely front and center. We love to see channel focus hit us in the face immediately. I think these thumbnails are demonstrations of really nice photography. Everything
I agree.
is looking nice and sharp, and even if there's no text, you kind of start to get a sense, this video is about a certain kind of monkey or
it's got better.
bird.
The text is gone, and now the heroes are the wildlife themselves of the thumbnails.
Yeah. Where I'm going to start are the titles. So, tree kangaroos, nature's acrobats. I wish it was just a little punchier. I wish there was just something a little, I would say 10% more. Because the one before that, Captivating Tree Kangaroos, Nature's Hidden Gems, they got 1,000 views. And that's like that little bit more I'm talking about. If you just crank it up a notch in some of these, you might see some pretty big differences. Because I need to know, like, what about the tree kangaroo? And I think you could just lead with, like, animal doing adorable thing. You know? That's really what a lot of people watch for. What are we doing?
I'm trying to do some really, really bad
drawing.
Bad art. So what I'm trying to say is this is really bad. I'm sorry. I'm trying my best, right? Okay, so what I'm trying to say is, right, kangaroos, nature's acrobats. Okay, it's not a particularly exciting thumbnail because the kangaroos just sat on the tree looking quite idle as if they're watching The Crown on Netflix. It would be better if the kangaroo was doing something a little more exciting, like it was dangling off the tree with its tail, or like some exciting way to show off that it's an acrobat in a tree. So I think the title is fine, Dan, but the thumbnail doesn't back up the curiosity on that one.
What kind of tree is that?
I don't know. I just had to draw it very quickly, right? Leave me alone.
That's kind of what I'm getting at, though. Just something a little more exciting happening. I think the photography is great. It's just if you can get like a moment of action, intrigue, something like that. That's really all this is. It's just demonstrating to the audience, like, this video is worth watching because, like, a thing is going to happen in this video. Otherwise, like, when I see 16 seconds and like Nature's Acrobats, I kind of wonder why it wasn't just a YouTube short. It looks like they're doing shorts. They do have a shorts tab, and I think you could kind of keep something like that in shorts, but let's see. Yeah, let's see what happens.
I haven't got the sound on. It's just music.
Yeah.
Just some music there.
So,
hello. Looked like there was going to be a scrap there for a second.
I'm not getting, like, acrobats from the video itself.
Yeah.
Too,
If
YouTube has a number of ways to measure viewer satisfaction. And if viewers click on something and they leave unsatisfied, that can also slow your video down. Your title and thumbnail could be great. If people watch the content and they leave unsatisfied, YouTube will still not spread the content around. And they measure this by a lot of different factors. Obviously, they're not going to tell us. My theory is that it's kind of individually based. So let's say, this is kind of an aside right now, but I have a theory about likes, for example. Rob, if you hit the like button on every single video, YouTube may value your likes as like, whatever. Rob hits like.
Yeah, I think I agree with you there. There's a different weight to a like, depending on the viewer.
But if you hit like very rarely, it's like, wow, Rob liked this video so much. Not only did he watch the whole thing, he liked it. He never does that. I don't know if this is true. This is just in my head, like, because YouTube gathers a lot of data on creators, and we know they gather data on viewers. And how are those bits of data kind of combined to make the perfect algorithm that presents people with the videos they constantly want to watch? And that's just one of my theories. Even if I'm wrong, though, satisfaction can be measured a number of different ways, and you have to make sure that if you're going to give something to viewers in the title and thumbnail, it comes off as honest. They click on it and they're like, this is exactly what I wanted. This is what I hoped it would be. And they leave satisfied.
I just want to play this 9-minute video for a few moments because I want to know if it's just all music or there is narration or something else going on. Okay.
Did you know that
All right.
9 out of 10 smallest monkeys in the world?
So there
are
is
actually
voice
fastest
narration
in
and
the world,
facts on the
monkeys.
longer videos, which is fine. I
Yeah.
get that. Jeff, I'll give you the final word, 20 seconds, 30 seconds before we move on.
Was that an AI voice or was I tripping?
I
don't know.
no, I don't. I think that was a real voice from what I could tell.
When you think of Australia, 2 animals come to mind.
I think it is
the
a real
kangaroo
voice.
and the koala bear.
Could just be
Which
voice
belong
processing
to
going
Russian
on. But yeah,
bear family.
no, but I'm in agreement with you,
You
as
might
far
think one lives-
as packaging. I think they need to take it up a notch because it looks like we're just getting a bunch of screen grabs, which is fine. I know when we're just starting out, we think that that's what it's going to take. And I am here to tell you that you need to take it a step further. In your titles, you got to take it a step further in your thumbnails and in the actual content itself. Now, even if it comes across like narration is so difficult, it'll get much easier as you practice it more. It gets a lot easier. So that's one of the things that I definitely want them to sort of work on is practice, because it's going to make a huge difference.
Absolutely. Sorry, I didn't want to cut you off there. I was just.
That's all right.
I shouldn't have played the sound effect as you were still talking. That was a bit rude.
I didn't want to cut you off, but I cut you off.
But I didn't want
Exactly.
to cut you off, but yeah. But I didn't want to. I didn't want to cut you off, but oh, that's the same one as you. Where's it gone? Oh, technical glitches. Right. Where was that? I was getting that URL because we're looking at a gaming channel next. Music, please finish now. Thank you. FoxAway, 100
Whoa.
subscribers.
Excuse you.
Yeah, be careful, sir. Language, sir. Language.
Gosh, dang.
FoxAway. Yeah. Is this a channel? Is it a bit inappropriate? Is it a bit weird?
It's
Yeah.
a
No,
bit,
it's like this is what, Five Nights at Freddy's, right?
it's a bit edgy, even for that.
I think edgy is the right word, Dan. Yeah,
There you
edgy.
So looking at the titles and thumbnails, it's not clear what's going to happen in the videos. Some of them better than others. Like the one I don't want to address too much is the one with the middle fingers towards the
Yeah.
rabbit character. But I mean, it has 1,000 views. Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted is the scariest VR game I have played. So hey, we have a pretty interesting thumbnail. We have an opinion about something, and I get a good sense of what the video is about based on the title and thumbnail. But the one after that, and the one after that, and the one after that is less exciting, or I don't know what's going on, kind of one or the other. So I would lean into what's working. I would keep testing out different titles and thumbnails based on the ones that you've had success with. Okay, that is the most popular video, it turns out.
It is, yeah. What's happened now? There we go. I was sorting by most popular.
I would say the thumbnail transformation that's happened on this channel is pretty apparent when you look at the top row.
Improving, yeah.
Yeah. They've kind of starting to get away from red text, which is great. Red text is hard to read in most cases.
Although this latest one's fallen over a bit again with the logo not necessary, and then this text is just too small, a bit difficult to read. I mean, with a title, I almost feel as if you don't need anything. You just need that probably zoomed in a little bit more because it looks weird in itself.
Yeah. I don't even know what game that is.
No, I don't actually.
I don't think it's Five Nights. So
Is it Half-Life? No.
I don't know what that is. So yeah, that's another issue too. If the game isn't immediately recognizable, people could keep scrolling. But yeah, a lot of the general advice we've given today, I think applies here. I don't know.
Are you doing your best, Dan, to say maybe we should move on from this channel?
Kinda.
All right. Well, that's what we'll do. Okay, the next channel we're going to pick is 446 on the non-gaming side of things. You know what's weird so far is that we haven't come across a Shorts exclusive channel. Like over the last few weeks, it's been more and more prevalent that Shorts channels are the new wave. Whereas here with this channel, which, hang on a second. So, from 3D art self-education. Have I picked the right channel?
I saw 3D art in the shorts.
Right. Okay. All right. I thought it was a gaming channel for a second, but it's not looking at the titles.
So I see they're kind of like documenting their Blender journey. They're learning from Blender. There's a lot of channels out there that kind of do stuff like this. I'm trying to think of like what kind of search example we could bring up. Like this sounds like a great, like, you know, X amount of time in Blender kind of thing where you show like a before and after transformation of you spending time with the software. I see this all the time in game development. Like, you know, 0 days of experience versus, oh, here we go. Is 1 hour versus 100 hours. Just scroll down just a little bit.
Yeah.
I forced myself to learn Blender 100 hours of progress. That's exactly what I was hoping to see. Before and after. And where you show, the cube, like just you've learned nothing yet to you made a stormtrooper. Like, can you do something like that? And I know that's a tall order, but that video could be what helps your channel take off. And you can document other things along the way, but I think in the background, you want to be working on a big project like that.
Do you think this should be on the channel?
9 seconds? Not really. I mean, it's cool to show the thing, I guess, but 9-second video. Like, tell me the story.
There's no sound there at all either.
Yeah, like there's so much there. It's very impressive. I would love to know what it took to make that come true.
And here's a donut in Blender. Apparently, that's a really popular thing to do when I search for Blender tutorials. How to blend a donut. Will it blend? Maybe that could be an idea.
Yeah. I think the channel we need to see more videos. We need to see more time, honestly. They do have I see it now. I didn't see the text because it was red, but 1 week in Blender. I get it now. Yeah. So they did do that. But let's try again with the thumbnail. I think it's really hard to read, and I totally missed it.
And somebody did ask as a super chat, should I submit my channel with just 2 videos? And this is an example of a channel which submitted with 2 videos, 2 shorts. Isn't that much to go on just yet, but it looks as if they do have a clear focus for their channel, albeit with 2 long-form videos, 2 shorts. And progress has been made. We can see from their Blender skills that they are on a journey. And please do share that on YouTube and just continue experimenting with the packaging of the videos. I'll move on to the next channel. And this will be a gaming channel. And it's gaming channel 293. The channel is called Cage versus Cage. So presumably 2 video gamers becoming creators and having fun doing that. Just mousing over quickly here, the different thumbnails. My first impression here is busy.
Yeah.
Lots of text in all of the thumbnails, most of them. Different fonts, different colors. All of this takes time to decode. And again, as Jeff so eloquently put it earlier on, make it understandable by a 5-year-old in 3 seconds.
Yeah.
And I'm probably taking 5 or 6 seconds for each of these to understand, especially this one, where I have to read text vertically and then figure out it's this game and then read the title after it, which is also cut off as well. There's a lot going on there. General thoughts, people.
It really is. It's just so much happening in every video title, every thumbnail. I think they've kind of... earlier I told the channel they need to like crank it up a notch. I think this channel needs to like walk it back just a little bit. Like some of them are just so exciting, you know. Like he looks like an emo Karen, like the first title there. It's like I don't know. The thumbnail and the title are disconnected, and it's so dramatic, and there's no sense of like what's the video actually about? What kind of challenge are you taking on? I need to see when it comes to gaming videos, like the ones I click on, there has to be some kind of like pull in that title and thumbnail. I'm doing something, and I'm playing this game you might remember, and I'm playing it a certain way, or I'm doing a certain thing. How fast can you beat Crazy Taxi? Like something like that. But I think they're just trying a little too hard with some of these.
Now, as I mouse over some of these videos, it looks as if they are going for an entertaining comedic approach with some editing involved. It's just because I see Edward Scissorhands here. I assume that's like a fun reference to the game that they're playing through the medium of Edward Scissorhands. And then I move on to this one where it looks like there's a car in midair and then it flicks back to Crazy Taxi. I think as if there might be some comedy in there. Jeff, any thoughts here that go beyond what Dan and I have spoken about so far?
I mean, not so much. I mean, I like the concept of being like having, you know, like a friend of yours, like an actual in real life friend. They're playing with you, playing these games and challenging each other. Like, I think that's pretty cool.
Yep.
But I agree that they definitely got to work on the packaging for this and really simplifying it. And I think for them, a challenge would be, especially text wise for their thumbnails, I would challenge them to one word. Like just one word. If you're going to use text, use one. Simplify the backgrounds because there's so much going on. You know, there's so many things happening there. So that's one thing I would do. And then it also feels like they're just kind of playing everything at the same time.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about that, Dan and Jeff. Do you think because their unique approach that it's two gamers playing the games and maybe giving themselves dares or challenges negates the fact that it's a different game every time? Or do you still feel as if there needs to be more consistency in what they're playing? Because it looks as if it's generally maybe games from their childhood. Like these look all as if the game's about 15 to 20 years old.
Yeah, like games from a certain era, which can be a thing. I wouldn't say they necessarily need to play one thing, given the style of content and some success here. We saw some videos that were more successful than others. This is one of those channels that needs a little bit more time to develop their strategy. But what I would say is it's not so much about what they're playing, it's how they're playing it. You could tell they are doing challenges. It's just sometimes the messaging isn't quite communicated super clearly. Right. Your content should have a through line. Okay. So for this channel, it's not the game. The game is not the through line. The through line is the personalities behind the game and how they're playing it. So it's good to stay in one kind of era, at least one type of game, like maybe retro driving games, for example, or whatever. There's crossover there, but it's still not super clear video to video, like what exactly the creators are trying to communicate to me. Yeah,
this is what happens when we don't take the time to figure out who we're making videos for and what value we are trying to present to them. And those two things are the foundations for a strong channel. So for them, that's one thing that I would want them to think about. Who am I making videos for? And what exactly do I want to deliver to this particular person with every single video? Is that 90s retro gaming with my homies? What is it, right? If that can be as simple as it is, but you have to know that because that's going to determine which video topics you're going to make over and over and over. So, and that applies to pretty much everyone.
I chose channel 6, but that was one of the channels we pre-selected. Now we're going to audit a channel called Chickens, and the main focus of the channel is golf. So tickle me interested. It actually is. They were being truthful. A channel called Chickens, but it's about golf. What jumps out here as we look at the videos?
Go-kart racing.
Oh, I didn't even see that. I was looking at the thumbnails.
Yeah, I was looking at the colorful text and the thumbnails and thinking that is actually quite effective. Sometimes the text and the arrows might be a bit small. Like for example, this one, I think the typography, my magnifying glass isn't working anymore, so I can't use it, which is blooming annoying. Ugh. Whoops. There we go. I think the text could be the whole typography there is just not right. But yeah, Dan, what did you think about the thumbnails?
I like that they've tried to simplify these and they look good overall. The latest one, did my golf improve after 4 months? I think that before and after isn't super effective. And it's not because of the way they did the graph going down. I think they're implying it got worse, I guess. But what doesn't line up for me is like I can't see a difference between you swinging a golf club in the before and you swinging a golf club in the after. I need to see, even if it's a little bit embellished, I need to see like a difference, you know, like in some way. Like I need to see either something that implies you improved or something that implies you got worse. And it's hard to explain because I don't know anything about golf. It's hard to explain what that could look like, but it needs to be very, very obvious to the people, like what you're trying to say. So
my idea would be the ball just in a bunker, or the plop moment when the ball drops in a lake or a river, and then on the right hand side it's like power drive, smashing it cleanly down the fairway as illustrated there. But yeah, this is one way they've kind of overfought the bad version of a shot, haven't they? Like, let's blur it out, and I'm in the rough, and it's because the thumbnail is so small, it makes it difficult to figure that out very quickly. So Jeff, you mentioned go-karts. Is this because of this thumbnail down here? Is this maybe like an odd departure from the norm for the channel?
Yeah, because if it's supposed to be a golf channel, what does go-kart racing have to do with it? Right? That's one of the things where, and the same thing where we have this, what looks like a snowboarding video. What does this have to do with it? Besides the fact that maybe this is something cool that you did, what is this? How does this deliver value to a viewer who signed up to you for videos about golf? Right? So, or maybe they were trying to do karting and then they switched to golf. That's totally fine as well.
Looks like it.
But at a certain point, if moving forward you're going to be doing golf, then at a certain point you're going to want to start unlisting some of these videos, maybe put them on a different channel. But that's what threw me off. Is as soon as I was looking at this, I was like, one, the banner doesn't give me any sort of a description of what your channel is going to be about. And then even in the about line, it's part-time construction, full-time danger seeker. How is that about golf? Right? So that's one of the things where there's sort of this like disconnect between what the value proposition is and the actual videos that you're delivering. And sometimes that takes a little bit of time to develop, and that's totally fine. But if golf is going to be the way you're moving forward, I would probably suggest you may want to have that start reflecting in channel name, channel banner, about section, and then, really kind of move forward with that specifically.
When I was mousing over the videos, it showed like a trail line on some of the shots, and I was wondering, how do they do that? I know I've seen it in like professional sports broadcasts, but for a random YouTube channel be able to do that, that's pretty interesting.
I bet there's a tool. I bet someone's made like a tool for that. A
tracking tool on Adobe After Effects or something. Look at that.
Yeah, that's great.
It's cool.
It makes the viewing experience a lot easier. Like it's already in real life hard to track a golf ball if you're not actually the one swinging. So in real life, in a video, it's like nice to have that guide.
Is this dude perfect for golfers? And like, I'm not asking you, Jeff and Dan, for an answer to that. It's just my immediate impression when I look at the channel is like they're trying to do cool trick shots and play in the most spectacular places on earth to play golf. And then maybe some trick shots and stunts in between and competitive stuff. That's the vibe I get from some of the videos. But then the titles kind of indicate a journey and tutorial aspect to this, like me getting better at golf. Any thoughts there on, I mean, Jeff, I think you've kind of touched on this in terms of who exactly is the audience for this content.
Yeah, that's really, I think that's one of the things that a lot of people are missing is we start making videos, but we don't think about who we're making videos for and what value we're trying to deliver. And then that's what makes our video topics kind of go all crazy and all over the place, where if you just take the time to develop that part of the strategy first, that all your videos can move in the right direction and grow an audience based on who you're trying to communicate with, who you're trying to deliver value to.
We move on to a gaming channel called Calamari Plays Starfield. Jeff, I know you had a bit of a binge on Starfield when it was first released. I'll let you start, and you're probably going to comment on why there's a random purple octopus in every single thumbnail. Or at least I would.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of makes me curious if they're a VTuber who uses this octopus as their avatar, maybe. I don't know, because I mean, just from the snippets that we've seen so far, I don't see that being the case.
Yeah, not seen one.
So maybe it's just a logo thing, but it creates a little bit of confusion for me. Especially if this character is not actually showing up in the like, you know, to narrate the games and do all that. I don't know. It feels a little odd. Yeah, if it's just game capture, then it kind of there's a little bit of a disconnect.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of a disconnect there. So, yeah, that's. I think it's because it's Calamari,
bring out the sword.
So there is.
Where you at?
Voice narration of like.
Where you is?
Hang on.
Somewhat.
Why has he got a Minecraft sword in the game?
Probably a mod.
It's mods. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, there's just a little bit of a disconnect. That's all it is, and it feels like Let's Play, but the title's telling me nothing. Going into the video, what am I going to get out of it, right? And this is one of the things that the issue. And obviously, Dan can talk about this, and it has ad nauseum talked about this. But it's one of those things where, what am I getting out of this, besides watching you play a random level in Starfield? As a viewer, what am I getting out of this? And if you can't answer that question, then you need to go back to the drawing board.
If I can pick up Starfield off the shelf and play it to myself the same way you're playing it for your audience, that's not original enough, I think, to get by, especially like when you're new to this space. It's and that's what we saw. Like that clip in the video was you running around a level and doing your thing. And I know that's like a fun thing to do, but that's more for a live stream. I just don't feel like that's going to be enough unless you're working towards a specific goal. Like it's really difficult to sell that to a new audience. I would say these thumbnails are over-branded. Like, I get that you're Calamari, so the octopus makes sense from that perspective, but like Jeff said, it's not like a VTuber in the corner or anything. And so I like one of the concepts down below is, what if Starfield's Earth had life? Which I think is a great question to ask. If you know anything about Starfield, the planet's like a dust bowl. So instead of just making Earth look like before and after, like, you know, dead planet versus like nice blue and green planet, for some reason you went with blue and green planet, but you put a face on it and you put the octopus character in there. And so it's like takes your messaging that would have been really, really simple and overcomplicates it for the viewer who scrolls by and sees it and they're like, I don't know what that is. They're not bothering to read the title at that point. It just looks like octopus and Earth with a face. It doesn't even look like Starfield. So there's a lot of stuff that needs to change with the packaging. And then I would say the ideas themselves, the concepts are probably going to need to be punched up a bit.
What I would want to say to give this channel some encouragement is that they labeled themselves as a Let's Play channel, but they're on a rung that's 2 or 3 rungs above typical Let's Play channels where they just have episode number, name of game, part 1, loading screen, and they're stuck at like 10 views or less. This channel is getting dozens of views on each of their videos. And so I want to be clear that they have some idea that's taken them beyond the staple of, this is just another Let's Play channel and it's not really working. Yes, I did see that, Dan. I did see that.
It's too many to not mention.
I know. So Old Man Gib, like, I hope I didn't kind of subliminally convince you that you needed to hand out more memberships. You didn't, but we are still just truly humbled and honored that you continue to do this. I think he did mention somewhere in the chat that this might be the last time he's able to do this year, but wow, incredible. Again, I don't know how they work. From what I understand, YouTube randomly hands these out to people who are in a live stream. Whoever gets them, please just start sharing your appreciation with many of our custom emojis to Old Man Gib. And I think with that, we'll take on the super chats that we have left to do. Let's see. Of course, again, we're sponsored by vidIQ Max when it comes to the super chats, because these are the type of questions you may ask in the vidIQ Max Discord and get amazing answers from, including the coach that you see here, Jeff and Travis and Alexi. So where was I? I was going to
drop this in here. Sorry, yes. I was going to drop this in here. Didn't mean to interrupt. But super chats, at this point, since they tend to multiply as we're reading them, there's a good chance that they may not get read if you decide that you want to just suddenly drop a super chat because you see them being read. Odds are it may not get read. Just making that very, very clear right up front.
Jan and Tracey Travels, we audited them in the first half of this live stream. Thank you so much. Yes, selfie mode thumbnails are us. Working on planning videos more. Shot coverage. Need to edit those and put out. Great to hear it from experts. Thanks so much for this audit. Yes. I will never confess to being an expert, just a passionate YouTube educator with knowledge and experience to share. I'm sure there are many other educators out there who will give you just as useful advice, which could be slightly different. I always like to stress that. What have we got here? A member for 5 months. I think Jeff is one of the best coaches. Can't really argue with that, Jeff, can we?
Yeah, that's my guy, man. He's one of my one-on-one students, and an amazing guy. Channel is doing super well. So
nice,
very, very proud of him. And I also got to meet him at Vid Summit. So we got to hang out. Very so yeah, cool. always a good time. Thanks, man.
Lost with Lal. Thank you for reviewing my channel last week. Again, my memory is failing me.
Mall of America.
We audited this channel. Sadly, now I remember because I'm talking about Mall of America. Sadly, I do voiceover because Mall of America has copyright music playing everywhere. Is this the best approach? From what I remember, the only problem we had is that the creator themselves wasn't in the video, so they weren't in like selfie mode, and we thought that would add a bit more personality and authenticity to the content rather than being a voiceover after the fact. Now I'm guessing if you're talking while the music's on, that'll kind of protect you from any copyright issues, but I understand that might be a problem, but it's difficult to fix.
Yeah. So what you're doing is not the worst approach. It's certainly not. Sure. But yeah, if you could try like a video where maybe you mix the two, and if you find that it gets a copyright claim, then it's like, all right, well, not going to do that again. Copyright claims won't hurt your channel. It'll just be like something that'll make you aware for next time.
Correct. Yusuf, I am thinking of starting a YouTube channel concentrating on unboxing random toys for kids and perhaps including Kinder Eggs. What can you suggest?
I would look very carefully at YouTube's community guidelines and all that fun stuff. As soon as you dip into that kind of content, it opens you up to a new set of rules that a lot of other creators don't have to look into.
Yeah, because if you get forced into children's channel, it could remove your ability to have a comment section, to do any kind of ad reads. But go ahead, Rob.
My concern is random toys for kids. That suggests to me that you haven't thought specifically about which audience you want to target, even if it is a younger audience. But then you talk about something specific, which is Kinder Eggs. So, all right, the toys in Kinder Eggs may be random, but the Kinder Egg surprise is kind of like the through line, the thread that you can use for your videos. But yeah, I back up and support everything you said about the made for kid angle on that one. Harris here, they have 50 subscribers. One of my videos got 110 views in less than a day, which is a lot for my channel. But the impressions suddenly plateaued. Do you think it'd go back up?
I guess it depends on if the topic is still relevant.
Sure.
So if like the information is still relevant, the topic is still relevant, it could just be what could be happening is a low click-through on that. So let's say that impressions, your video got shown to people, they didn't click, that'll cause impressions to plateau. So it could be an issue with your title or thumbnail. So I would go back, take a look at your click-through rate, see what's going on. If it's low, below whatever your normal averages are, it might be time to go ahead and make that switch. Assuming the information is still relevant, the topic is still relevant, then it's worth doing.
Yeah.
What I would say is stop sitting on your hands and looking at the metrics for a video that's already live and make more content based on that video that's done really well for you. Take action. Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, I'm pleased with my answer there. Jobless Kadama with maybe a super sticky super chat. Sometimes StreamYard doesn't correctly translate what was sent in YouTube over here, but thank you for that. And your boy is back, Jeff, the bearded IT dad. What do you think about hashtags in titles on YouTube Shorts?
Oh, do you want me to take it? All right, no worries. I figured he was getting your opinions because he can get my opinion at any time.
Well, that's a good point, actually. Yeah. Let's get rid of Jeff. He doesn't need to coach this one.
my opinion that they're just not needed. You could put them. YouTube, when you upload from the app, is like encouraging it by like putting the suggested hashtags, but YouTube, in my opinion, doesn't take advantage of hashtags in a meaningful way. Maybe one day, Jeff, maybe they start. I don't know, but I just don't feel as though it's needed, at least today.
No. Maybe at the beginning when they were first trying to figure out how to sort them and all that, yeah. But nowadays, I haven't seen it make a difference because I've seen them blow up without. I've seen them blow up with. So I don't think they make any kind of a difference, to be completely honest. Unless it's some sort of a trend that actually has a hashtag trending, maybe. But yeah.
If
I don't know
hashtags become relevant later, then it would be based on trends, and so you still don't need to be doing it today. And if they become relevant, we won't have missed anything.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Is there a traffic source that identifies when views come from a hashtag, like a hashtag purge? I don't know if there is now, thinking about it. Anyway, we'll move on. Now, Gaming with Debbie, does this mean they've sent us a super chat, but it's encased within a membership, so I can't see that it's a super chat?
No, so basically, when you remain a member, you can celebrate that you're still a member and click a button, and then you can leave a message with that like celebration of like, hey, I've been a member for 3 months.
Oh,
yeah, it's like the once a month free super chat.
I see. Well, there was the custom sound effect. So Jeff, can you give this new member a custom sound effect?
Hold up.
I don't even know how to pronounce that. IceBurgz. There's a missing vowel there to help me pronounce that. Next, Super Chats comes from Mimberly. If our channel doesn't get covered this live stream, do you offer any one-off review services, or is it just the membership perks? So, we don't offer one-to-one channel auditing because we'd just be oversubscribed immediately, and that's what we'll be doing for the rest of our lives. And we tend to find that just auditing a channel is kind of like a very in-the-moment thing, and creators need ongoing advice and support, which is where one-to-one coaching comes into play, where it's kind of like a blend. It's not just channel auditing, Jeff. We can't call one-to-one coaching channel auditing.
It's
not fair to say that. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So we would encourage you to check out one-to-one coaching, or, I mean, certainly in vidIQ Max, Jeff, there's a certain element of channel auditing, not in the same way that it's done here, but like feedback from your fellow members.
Yeah, 100%. That would be the best way to do it, either or, because both would start kind of at that level of like a channel audit type level, where one-on-one you're going to work with a coach that's going to help you sort of create a step-by-step program just between you and them to get you to whatever your next goal is going to be. With Max, it also starts at the same place, and then you can also get feedback on your title specifically. What's your next video thumbnail going to be? What's your next video topic going to be? So you have both options that way. But yeah, we definitely don't do anything one-off review service, because just like Rob said, we would be flooded immediately. So yeah, no, there's no way.
We've learned from our mistakes on that one a little bit. Eddie. Hi again. The vidIQ tool was a great help. Question: how much will adding captions help a video, and should it be in the video itself or the YouTube player?
Yes.
That's an interesting question. So Jeff says,
yes.
Clarify, please.
Well, basically, captions, it depends on what they're asking, because some people think adding captions is somehow going to boost their video. They're going to get more views. That's not really what it's for. It's more about making accessibility for your videos for people who need closed captions. That's one. Two, adding captions that you create versus letting the AI make them themselves. It means that the auto translation is going to be much more accurate for people who are watching your videos in different parts of the world who don't speak your language. So that's a twofold thing, that you're making your videos more accessible to people. Is that going to get you more views? I would say marginally. So is it worth the effort? That's totally up to you. For me, it is 100%, because I have people that watch from different countries. I want to make sure that the auto translate works very well, because otherwise AI auto translate, dude, it'll really mess up some words, let me tell you.
And then I think they're talking about burned in captions. So not letting YouTube do it or sending it off to a third-party service like Rev, which will then upload an SRT file. It's like literally in the video itself.
Yeah. Burned in can help. We've seen Mr. Beast do it, a lot of different channels. I think it depends, one, on the type of content that you're creating. And two, I don't think it needs to be throughout the entire video. I think you can use them to amplify specific things you want to say on screen, but I don't think it needs to be throughout the whole video. But I think it really depends on the type of content, because some content it makes sense, and other content it just wouldn't make sense at all.
Dan, I'd love to hear your thoughts if you have any, but keep them fairly brief because we're running out of time with it.
It just, yeah, for me, this is another viewer satisfaction thing. It's a feature on YouTube that is great to do if you want to go that extra step for your viewers, but YouTube does not incentivize, as far as we know, they don't incentivize this behavior by giving you more views for doing captions. It's literally just about audience satisfaction. Should YouTube incentivize it somehow? I don't know, maybe, because I think videos should be more accessible, but it doesn't necessarily mean that's the case right now.
There's a really good question here, and I'm trying to find an example of it in our analytics. So just bear with me while I try to... so here we go. The question is from Second Chair Music. Have you ever seen a video with a majority of views coming from return viewers gradually switching to mostly new viewers?
Yes.
Yeah,
that happens a lot if you have a core community. And I've just pulled out one fairly random example from our channel, which was about how faceless channels, sorry, Jeff, I've hidden you there, how faceless channels, how they deal with copyright. And so in the very first 24 hours, it started off with 20,000 views from returning viewers and barely anything from new. But because it's gone into its evergreen status now, we are still getting return viewers, but you can see that new viewers are starting to become the primary source of input to the video. So yes, it does happen. But Dan, Jeff, if you want to add anything else to that conversation, please do so now.
It's
super
really
normal.
Yeah, super normal and really healthy sign. It means you made something that your regular viewers loved.
Yeah.
And YouTube is saying there's more people out there who are going to want to watch this and finding new viewers. So, I mean, think of it this way. New viewers can really only happen once, right? Someone watches your channel, they are now a returning viewer when they watch a second video. So when you see that blue line go up, like that's really, really exciting.
I think this is another live stream bingo question ticked off. My views went up, but not my subscribers. Any suggestions? I'm sure we get this at least once or twice a month.
Views going up is good. Subscribers will happen over time. And YouTube, unfortunately for us subscriber lovers, YouTube is making it so you don't have to subscribe, and it'll keep finding the content you want to watch. So don't worry about it too much. It's nothing personal if people don't subscribe. If they're coming back, that returning viewers graph we're just looking at, that's really where it's at. If you can get returning viewers, that's like means you're doing something right.
Also,
Okay, we're gonna.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, Jeff, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, let's not put the cart before the horse. So views are always going to be king over subscribers, and I know that's very backwards to what a lot of people think. Right? I gotta get more subscribers. I gotta get to that 1,000. I gotta get to that 10,000. Whatever it is. Right? No, you can't get subs without views. Don't put the cart before the horse. Views are always going to be much more important than subscribers. And getting someone to watch more than one of your videos, creating those return viewers that Dan and Robert are talking about, far more important. So one thing I always tell people, worry about the views. Don't worry about the subs.
All right, no more super chats. We're going into speed mode to get through the ones that we have left. Spectre 19, already done that one. K&J Lumber Products. Do we submit for the form every live stream or just once? Yes, every single week. Because if we left the live forms as they are, we would now probably have about 100,000 channel submissions over the years that we've been doing this. So we purge it every single week. Design Burst. Is it okay to copy the style of other YouTubers, like using miniatures to make the content more engaging, but we will add something unique to our channel?
I would say it's okay to take a similar concept from another channel, but you really got to make it your own. Otherwise, it's just going to be kind of seen as plagiarism, which could anger either viewers of both of your channels or anger the other creators.
Next question is from Omar Gaming, and it is the question about how do I get a channel audit as a super chat. At the very beginning of this live stream, we have an tutorial that tells you to fill out the forms, and you may be randomly picked. I think this is the previous Old Man giving 50 memberships. So I'm just giving him another shout out for that. Chris's New York City hot dog stands. I think we've audited this channel. Just a thank you, guys. You did my channel at 3,000. Oh my goodness. Just about ready to hit 50,000 subscribers. Presumably you're talking about subscribers.
Let's go.
That's incredible. That is just awesome to hear.
Congrats, Chris. Congrats, man.
Yeah, that is brilliant. Great to hear. Great to hear. Next one comes from Matt Cave Gaming. Milestones won't let my members type. Known issue?
I
No
saw this
idea.
earlier. I was trying to think about it. It might be an issue with your channel. Is this a milestone? That's what I don't know. Like, you've been a member for 1 month. That sounds like a milestone, but you were able to type. So
Yeah.
it could be something going on with your channel. Maybe contact YouTube support, but we're not really sure.
Yeah.
Ultra Archon, if you guys don't get to my video this week on the live stream, do I need to fill out another form on the next live stream?
Yes.
Yes. Next question. Data and Analytics Academy. Does it make sense to do link building for my channel?
What does that mean?
Yeah. What does that mean?
You don't. Okay, you don't need outside promotion to grow on YouTube.
I don't know.
You can definitely grow within YouTube. You do not need outside promotion if that's what you're asking.
Yeah.
You can also use outside promotion, but meh. I like YouTube's recommendation system to find me viewers on YouTube for my content.
But remember, Todd has said, which did surprise us, that you are free to promote outside of YouTube. Somehow that's how channels get discovered.
Yeah, some channels, yeah.
Exotic Parallel. Is there any issue with making your channel name your real name for privacy and doxing? I can't think of a channel name. Like I'm in university worried.
Try not to use your real name, in my opinion. What if you use a pseudonym, like an author? Like, maybe go into ChatGPT and hammer out some different suggestions for names if you just want it to sound like a human name. But yeah, I wouldn't take that risk if you don't need to.
Yeah. I know people that have done that, just change their last name. Like, let's say his name is Rob, but instead of being Rob Wilson, he's going out as, Rob Henderson. Or whatever it might be, just all it is a simple change of the last name, which is enough to kind of throw some people off if they're bad actors.
Some people would argue the opposite because it's a big part of their brand, their name. So I don't think there's a wrong answer here, is it? It's just being aware of the implications, as you say, for privacy and doxing. If that is a real concern for you, then yeah, I think probably going down the pseudonym route might be the approach for you. Eternal Props. So my channel has 13,000 subscribers, but my watch hours are very low, like around 600. What is a faster way, live streaming or videos? Are you a shorts channel? That's the reason I'm asking if you have so many subscribers yet no watch time.
That would be my guess.
Yeah.
And out of those two, I would live stream, but you're going to have to live stream consistently. It isn't going to be a one and, oh my God, I only got 3 viewers and I'm never going to do it again. It's going to be something you're going to have to put some dedication into.
And you'd probably still want regular videos going up as well to help grow your live stream audience, because the discoverability on a regular video is really, really good.
And that brings to an end all of our super chats for another week.
Oh, we got one. We got one here.
Apart from the sound effect that Jeff is about to play for Tiffany's Epiphany. Wow, let's say that fast twice. 3 times. Tiffany's Epiphanies, Tiffany's Epiphanies, Tiffany's Epiphanies.
I will send you to Jesus.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, that's completely thrown me out of sync as that sound effect. But it was brilliant. Stop it. Hang on. Well, hang on. We'll do this last super chat just because it's praising us. Thank you guys for all of these useful advice. We're all creators. I would like to know your opinion on integrating AI on videos, the voices, the images. We talk about that every single week with live streams. And John's done some videos on this. It's a tool, and it should be a tool that's used to enhance your content, not start making decisions and control your content, is the best way I would describe that. Dan, you're having a real fight here, aren't you, on your hands?
My producer thought the stream was over.
So Scratch-A-Lot is just causing chaos. Whew. We can get back to some channel audits for a little bit here. We have a few minutes left, so I'll do a reset of the numbers. We're now at 676 and 516. So if I just the numbers up to 675 and then pick one from the non-gaming channel, that should get us a new channel to audit. 581. And we are looking at a channel called Inspired by You Podcast. I remember us looking at a podcast a couple of weeks ago, which we were quite critical of because it tried to focus too much on the podcast aspect, not really talking to the viewer they wanted to target. Is this one any different?
Lots of, I would say, thumbnail templates being used from maybe a Canva or similar website.
Yeah.
And it makes your thumbnails look like they come from a completely different place every single week. And that's not necessarily a compliment, just because it's difficult to get a sense of, like, you know, video to video. Is this the same channel? If you're trying to build an audience, really, really a lot more helpful to, like, stick to I don't want every thumbnail to look the same, but a style of some kind.
They had a template here.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a great template because everything was flat on screen, making the text impossible to read in some cases. Like, there's some text there. Never going to have a chance of reading that. Red thumbnail here. Red text on a thumbnail here. I think if we were going to use this style of thumbnail, they'd have to blur the background considerably and really reduce the text significantly. But anyway, they abandoned that. And as you say, Dan, now it looks like they're taking Canva templates and trying something new every time.
Let's look at this video, 12,000 views. I think this is a really good example of communicating a simple message, right? So 0 to 1 million subscribers.
Right. Yep.
How Cartoon Connect grew 1 million subscribers while working something. But hey, I mean, listen, 40-minute video. Looks like it's really in depth. 12,000 views.
Some decent engagement as well. So organic traffic, we would suggest.
Yes. And this goes, if this is like a podcast channel, this is like excellent work by the creator, not worrying so much about the podcast branding and just like, what's the story I'm trying to tell? And I was able to pick up immediately what that video was about by looking at the title and thumbnail.
Yeah, agreed. I think they're doing that well. I think more than anything, it's just the packaging needs work. You know, that's really what it comes down to. Title-wise, I think they're doing it. They are focusing on the story. That's something that a lot of podcast channels miss. Because I'll just focus on, you know, blank podcast name, episode 13, and it's like, yo, dude, you gotta bring it on YouTube. It's got to be different. But I also agree on thumbnail wise, they have to kind of settle into a formula that's way simpler than this, and that carries consistency through it. And it doesn't mean that every single one has to be just a template thumbnail and they all look exactly the same. No, I would say choose a font and choose maybe 1 or 2 channel colors, and then let that be the thing that, you know, brings them all together, but make each one of them unique. And then also, you know, just simplify it. Just same thing. We're going back to the very same advice that I gave before. This is why this advice applies to so many people, including many of you in the chat, is simplify the thumbnails. Less words, less text, less images, less elements. Just make them simple. Make it easy to understand like that.
And a final point I'm trying to formulate in my head is, again, going back to the 0 to 1 million subscriber one, Dan, it was very easy to communicate the success in that one, like the end goal. Whereas on some of these, you don't know really what the end goal or success was. From hometown to Hollywood, why you should never move your hometown from your hometown to pursue your dream. It does feel as if sometimes the thumbnail and the title aren't being repeated. They're just being reworded, but essentially mean the same thing. This is another one. Great money lessons you can pass on to your children. Financial hacks you wish you knew sooner. It's kind of saying the same thing. Like, I prefer either the title or the thumbnail to tease one of these hacks, and whether it is with children, like start saving for college before they're even born, like, I don't know, some crazy hack or whatever. I feel as if there's a bit of not repetition, but whatever is close to repetition in terms of the titles and thumbnails.
That, and I would say the topics. Like, you did really, really good work with the, you know, that journey of someone getting a lot of subscribers, but then we went and started talking about inspirational, stories about, I guess, musicians, financial advice, then leaving your hometown to pursue a dream. Like, I still think you're not catering to one audience with each episode, and that's going to be something else to address as well.
Okie dokie. We're going to move to a gaming channel now that's just hit 1,000 subscribers. So that's awesome to hear. Whether they are monetized or not just yet, we will find out really through our tool. Yes, we do have a tool here which tells you whether a channel is monetized. So maybe they haven't reached their watch hours or minutes yet. The Ledezmas Ledezmas. I don't know how to pronounce that.
I had a friend with the same last name, Ledezma.
Ledezma. Thank you.
It could be Latino or Hispanic, but I had a friend with the same last name.
Thanks for bailing me out there, Jeff. Roblox channel, Dan.
So biggest thing in gaming, especially as a new channel. Well, I shouldn't say the biggest thing, but one of my biggest things that you'll hear me say is having your game be recognizable in the thumbnail is super important. Roblox is a very recognizable aesthetic. You've covered the most recognizable elements with emojis, and you continue to do it. And I think it's making it so it doesn't look like Roblox videos to people who are casually scrolling by on YouTube. So step one is to make your game make your game be the star, like front and center Roblox. It should be obvious. Step two, what is happening in the thumbnail? Like that is also important. If it's just a Roblox character standing there, great, you've made a Roblox video, but the character should be doing something intriguing should be happening, and the title should support whatever's being shown in the thumbnail. So I think very basic title thumbnail advice here, which we've been giving all day long. Some videos better than others. Roblox Blade, bail, but if I die, the video ends. Nice, you did a challenge, 155 views. The video after that, though, not doing as well. Roblox Blade, ball, but if I lose my sanity, the video ends. If I lose my sanity is so nuanced. It's so like, it's not as punchy as if you die. People die in video games all the time, but is lose your sanity a thing that can happen in the game itself? Is that a mechanic of the game? Probably not. You're probably just trying to be like kind of funny. It's not translating to as many views. I don't know. I could be wrong. It's a pretty new video, but that's just some very general tips for you.
I'm just going to say, Dan, that is a knowledge bomb from you, and it requires no further input from anyone else. So what we're going to do right now is we're all going to play a game to finish off this live stream. So if you want to abandon this live stream, which some of you may do, that's fine. I'm totally okay with that. But if you stick around, you can actually play this game yourself using all of the knowledge you have learned throughout the last 2 hours of this live stream. And I thank you, Dan, for that introductory music. This game is also going to be sponsored by vidIQ Max because I forgot to remove the swirling cube in the top right-hand corner. And what we're actually playing is the thumbnail game. We've been wanting to play this for weeks and we just haven't had time, but now we finally found the time. And this is where, as the host of the thumbnail game, I will be showing Dan and Jeff some thumbnails. And you have to try and guess from the thumbnails and the titles alone which video got more views. So just as an example, we'll compare these two thumbnails and we would say which one has more views, left or right. And if I was going to guess, I would say because this is Jake Paul, even though it's a bad thumbnail, I'm going to go with that one. Yeah. And I would be right. Okay, so that's basically how it works. And what we're going to do is have Jeff answer 5 and Dan answer 5, but we're going to do it alternately so we can ratchet up the tension here. And as I say, everybody join in the chats. So Dan, if you want to remove that music, and we'll have some more appropriate quiz music, which sounds a little bit like this.
I like mine better, but okay.
Okay, we're gonna start simple here, then. So
it's kind of loud.
Yeah, this is cool. Let me just take it down a bit. Right, Jeff, are you into this? I've heard very little from you. Huh?
So sure, why not?
Right. Okay. So, which video has more views? Bippy and Miki's Very Merry Holiday Treasure Hunt movie, or How the Island Boys Went Dead Broke by Spending Millions?
I would say Blippi.
All right, let's see. You are right. 6.5 million views. I was going to go for the other one, so that tells me what I know about thumbnails. So Jeff is on the board, 1-0. Dan, you have Andrew Tate, Bugatti Chiron per Sport Review, or My Makeup Routine Every Day by Lauren Gray.
I honestly, neither of these are things I would watch, so I don't know. I would say the right one.
So you're going for Lauren Gray, right?
Yeah.
Oh, he's right. Nearly 7 million views. Wow, Lauren Gray must be a huge YouTuber which I've never heard of. Absolutely crushing it. 1-1. This is exciting. Which best thumbnail of these two, though? Probably, actually, the Lauren Gray one, I think.
Probably.
Because that just looks like a ripped image from an Andrew Tate picture. Jeff, we have 9 minutes of Gordon losing his temper, Hell's Kitchen, or Logan Paul fires co-host.
I'm gonna go with Logan Paul.
Okay, he's going for Logan Paul. Nope.
Oh,
I pressed the wrong. The sound effects are broken. What's going on there? There we go. It's wrong. It's Jeff. You were wrong. That's very poor. Right, I've already forgot the scores. What was the scores?
It's just at the top 3.
Yeah, no, but that's not right because
so
we're not doing it that way.
just who
Come
cares?
on
Just
now,
do a few more.
dog.
I think it's 1-1, but Dan, this is your second attempt, right?
Okay.
So we've got this.
The one on the right.
he's going for a one, right? It's wrong.
Wow. Okay.
That must be a short with
Yeah, it's
tons
probably a
and tons
song
of
or
views.
something.
All right, 1-1. Let's go again. Jeff, cute thing on left-hand side or 1930s actors on the right-hand side?
Ooh, I'm gonna go with the baby sloths.
All right. Come on. You are correct by 5.5 million views. Very well done. So Jeff is now 2-1 ahead, and this is Dan's third thumbnail. Oh, this is easy, surely.
The one on the right.
It's the far superior thumbnail, but it has less views.
Wow, I'm impressed with how many people want to know about the mRNA protein.
Yeah, right.
But it just proves how talking about thumbnails all of the time is utterly pointless.
Yep.
Right, we're on to the 4 thumbnails each. Now the tension ranches up. Oh, we got some more serious tension theme music, as I'm calling it. So Jeff, colleague benefits or poopy green slime?
I'm gonna go with the colleague benefits.
You are kidding me.
Why?
He just wants to make this interesting.
It's a
All
slime
right,
video. What are you?
So Dan, this is your chance to level things up and then go into
Okay.
tiebreaker. So we got Chihuahuas.
I'm just throwing the game at this point.
It's
or
Chihuahuas
Friday
for
nights
sure.
at Freddy's. Sorry,
It's the stolen Chihuahua video.
you're going for Chihuahuas.
Oh my god, both wrong.
And you were wrong by over 20 million views. And so,
okay.
the winner of the first week of the thumbnail game, which will probably be the only week we ever play it, is Jeff. You win absolutely nothing, Jeff. But thanks for taking part. Anyway, and that brings us to an end. We're done. That is the end of the live stream. We hope you enjoyed big parts of it where we were dishing out education, advice, support, and motivation, and had fun with the comedic bits at the other parts of the live stream. Jeff, as always, it was fantastic having you on board this week. Final little plug, 15 seconds for vidIQ Max and why people should join it.
I don't need 15 seconds. Just join us.
There we go. The promo code, you saw it running across the screen. I'll run it across the screen during the outro. Dan, you have a further 15 seconds to outro us and tell us what's coming up next week when you're the host.
More channel reviews. We'll look at your channels, submit them, but not now. Wait till the live stream goes up again because we'll clear the form. And
Obviously, you
can't
don't
get-
need 15 seconds.
can't get streamed or reviewed from Super Chats.
Sorry,
either.
I cut you off, Dan, then when you still had seconds left. I do apologize.
Yeah, you can't.
The moderators have done an amazing job. Old Man Gib, amazing job for giving away all of those memberships. Do take advantage of them. And we will see you next week.